Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Magicshine Seemee DV bike camera taillight. While a photo may be worth 1,000 words, having video footage of a crash or near hit can be priceless. Magicshine's new Seemee DV is their first combination taillight and camera, which acts like a rear-facing dash cam for your bicycle. As with other Magicshine products, the Seemee DV undercuts the pricing of popular Garmin and Cycliq camera taillights while adding new features. Packaging-wise, you can see very simple. You have a black cardboard box, orange branding on here with Seemee DV printed on here, and the Magicshine logo. On the back side, we have basic specs for the taillight, as well as a 2-year warranty, which is nice to see. We'll go ahead and take it out of the box and go over the specs. Retail price on this is only $119.99, so very affordable. It has a 1080p HD camera with a 146 wide lens, so you have a nice field of view to see everything behind you. It has a MicroSD card, and it supports up to 128 gigabyte card in here for extra footage. It also has incident detection, so it has a built-in accelerometer, so if you get into an accident or you crash, it'll record up to 55 seconds and lock that footage so it doesn't get overwritten. You have a 3400 milliamp battery on the inside, and that gives you a runtime up to 110 hours in the eco mode. You also have a 30 LED taillight with these 3 COB LEDs, which give you nice 360 degree visibility. In terms of what comes with this, obviously you get the taillight camera combo, nice foam cutout to keep everything safe during shipping, and then this little compartment underneath. You have the instruction manual, the seatpost mount with this nice rubber backing on there with an angle to it so it sits straight. You have a 8 gigabyte MicroSD card included, so you can just use this right out of the box. And then USB Type-C charging cable to charge the taillight. Now let's take a look at the weight of the Seemee DV. So just the taillight with the camera, that's 102 grams. Then the mount with its included rubber strap, that comes in at 13. Despite being part of Magicshine Seemee lineup, the Seemee DV has an all-new design and visually looks quite different from the other taillights on the market. Those taillights have rectangular or square profiles, while this one has a triangular one. So you can see you have the streamlined shape that conceals a 3400 milliamp battery on the inside, as well as the 1080 camera, and then 3 LED strips. So pretty nice package. You can see you have a metal body on top, which has a molded camera lens directly inside it. And then what appears to be a plastic bottom piece that hides all the LEDs. On the back, you have a miniaturized Garmin mount. So it's a quarter turn style, so you just rotate it on, line up the tabs, and then it'll lock into place. Really nice and secure. They include the seatpost mount, and it has this triple cutout, so it can handle flat, rounded, D, or even aero seatpost with the different little cutouts. Simple rubber strap, and you can see it's fairly robust, so it should handle a lot of years of use, and has a miniaturized Garmin mount on the inside. On the top, you have the 2-button interface. It almost looks like 3 when you first look at it, but the top one is just a color indicator. So if I press the left button, which is the power button, that highlights the color, and that's a feature we see with all the Seemee lights. So it actually indicates the battery status. So it's a 3-level indicator, so green, red, or flashing red. And then you have separate control for the camera. So a long hold will turn on the light. Then you have the different modes of the LED on the bottom. So if I tap, I'll go through 4 different options. So single menu, very simple. And then for the camera, you can see this rotating red light. That indicates it's recording. If I press the button again, this will go into pause mode. So it's flashing. If I tap it again, it'll start recording. And if I hold, I can actually shut off the taillight. So it's a really nice feature. So if you don't want the taillight and you just want more runtime with your taillight, you can run it in just a simple taillight mode. And then if you want the camera, you can turn that on separately. And you have mode memory here. So if I shut this off and then hold again, you can see it reinitializes. I get my LEDs on the bottom in the same mode I was in. And then this will go back to a standard recording mode when you first turn it on, and you can again turn it off. So pretty simple design. You also have a USB Type-C charging port on the side. Then you have the memory card slot. on the other side. So a little micro SD card. That's a little bit hard to pull out, but once you get it in there, it's nice and secure, and you can push down the rubber gasket. Now let's take a look at some video footage from the camera. As you can see here, if you're on rough roads, the video can be pretty jarring. There is no image stabilization, so every bump or divot in the road is really shown in the video. On smoother roads, it's not that bad, and the clarity of the video is actually pretty good, so you can make out license plates, and you have a good wide field of view. So this is very similar to a wide setting on a GoPro. And you can see here the cars and everything is exposed. You can also see if we freeze it that the license plate is readable. Here we have a side-by-side on the same bike with the GoPro Hero 11 in the 1080 setting and the Seemee DV. You can see they're pretty similar. Obviously the GoPro has better color and image depth, but as far as the clarity, they're pretty similar as they have the same resolution, which is pretty impressive. The big difference is obviously that image stabilization. The GoPro is silky smooth, as they've really refined that algorithm, but obviously it's much more expensive, and you're not going to be able to run it for the same run times, as they can overheat and they have multiple screens. We also tried the nighttime riding with the camera, and it did surprisingly well. As with a lot of cameras, you can see it's pretty grainy in low light situations. You can't see the details quite as well, but you still see everything around you. And again, you have a full car width around you, so you can make out details, and if something were to happen, you could always review the footage. Now let's take a look at the app. Magicshine has used a standard off-the-shelf app called Car DVR. So it's pretty basic. And it's obvious they didn't really spend any money on the user interface. So you can see 3 basic tabs on the bottom where you can access the camera browser, local save files, the camera, and then settings. So under camera, once you've connected to the Wi-Fi spot with the appropriate password, you can see we actually get a nice live image. So here you can see my bike poster. You can take images of that, so screenshots. And then you can do a recording or stop recording, and you'll see this will actually update the color. So you can see while it's recording, and then when you pause it, it'll flash. And then screenshot actually has no user feedback, but you just save it. Then you can actually access the files here. So if you don't want to remove the memory card, you can go to camera browser, and then you can see all the recordings here with the size. Any incidences are separately saved in the separate tab. And then you have photos. So if you look at one of the photos, you can see they're all there. And then you can click on these and view the video footage. So it's pretty basic, and you can see the UI requires you to press edit and then do multi-select if you want to save it. But I highly recommend just using a MicroSD card. The other thing is you can do basic settings on here. So under camera setting, you can change it from 1080 down to 720. If you want to have more footage, you can change the flicker frequency from 50 to 60. Looping, you can actually change from 1, 2 to 3, or even turn it off, just do real-time video. You can adjust the exposure, and by default you can see it's pretty high up, so kind of washes details out, but is brighter. Auto balance doesn't have an option, and then you can sync the time, which is something you definitely want to do, so you have the proper time on the little overlays. You can reset camera and format. So pretty basic, but would have been nice to see more effort in a separate app that would combine some of the cycling data, such as speed, or other features to make it a little more fun to share. Now let's go over the pros and cons of the Seemee DV. What I like about it is it has a unique design. Although it's a little bit bulky, it has a nice streamlined shape. You also have good video quality and a really simple user interface with the 2 buttons that you control the taillight and the camera independently. Also, you have great side visibility with the 3 LED strips, so you have 360-degree visibility. Some of the negatives of this Seemee DV is the fact that it does lack image stabilization. So if you're riding on rough roads, the video can be a little bit jarring. And Magicshine has used a basic free app instead of creating their own one. So the user interface on the app is pretty clumsy. Taking everything into account, would give the Seemee DV an 8.9 out of 10. Easy to use and really affordable camera taillight combination. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.